afternoon and welcome to episode 22 of 5 Midfield. I'm Gav Mack, that's Stephen Buck, and down there is Alex Osborne.
Peace. How you doing?
Welcome.
Welcome.
Now I'm getting feedback. That's really frustrating. That's what happens with sound checks, and that's what happens with technology in the world nowadays. Who cares? YouTube.com/C/2@top-football. That is our handle. We can do that now, which is really cool because we've gone over the 100. Which means that we can change our domain name as that. And now it's scrolling across the bottom of your screen. And make sure you download Soccer Manager 2021 on the 14th of September, available on the App Store and Google Play Store. Now, today's top fives are our top 5 predictions of the league. So from 5th to 1st in the league, in the Premier League, that's what we're going for. Ed Hall is watching the show. He already says you're wrong. You haven't heard it yet. You have not heard it. And I'm gonna kick it off. I'm gonna go me first, and then we're gonna go with Buck, and then we're gonna go with Alex. So in 5th place in the Premier League this season, I'm going with Chelsea. In 4th place, I'm going with Liverpool.
That's a big.
Yeah. 3rd place, Arsenal. 2nd place, Man United. And top spot, Man City.
Okay, so before we get into the debate about this one, I just want to know, have you had anything to drink before you come on the show?
No, as you can see, I am beerless. For the first time in Top history, I don't even have a soft drink on my table. I've got nothing on the table. Now, the issue is Arsenal are giving me that false hope that they always do. So but you know, we ended the season nicely. We won the FA Cup. You know, we beat City. We're getting told we're boring to watch because we're too defensive. I've not heard that since
George Graham.
Yeah.
So hey, and we won trophies under George Graham. I'm not saying that Arteta is a defensive manager. I'm not saying that, but he understands where he needs to bolster and understands when he can play with a bit more flair. So that's what my order's gone with. Now, Liverpool fans will get triggered by the fact I've put them 4th in the league, but I haven't put them 4th in the league as such. It's just that I feel that 3 teams will finish higher than them. It sounds weird what I'm saying, but what I mean by that is it's not going to be like how the last few seasons have been. The team at the top got 100, the team in 4th place got 70 points. The gap is going to narrow a lot, and I feel that the top 4, even the top 5, will be very tight until at least April this season. I feel that. I don't think there's going to be a standout runaway winner. Liverpool, they haven't strengthened.
No, not for about three seasons. The squad has pretty much remained unchanged.
And like we know that Liverpool are a brilliant side. We know this already. But if you don't strengthen as you go along, you end up not getting left behind, but you're not able to keep up as much of the pace. City, they still haven't got a world-class centre-half alongside Laporte. Laporte gets injured this season. Then they've got to deal with Ake at the back and Stones.
Yeah. I don't think they've replaced the leader in Vincent Kompany, which might not have necessarily brought everything on the pitch as he sort of got towards the tail end of his career. What he brought off the pitch was monumental to that club. And they've not replaced that figurehead.
Exactly. So and Arsenal, they've strengthened at the back. You know, it looks like Aubameyang's going to sign the contract. Man United have strengthened. Chelsea have strengthened well, but I think there's still issues defensively, and that's the reason why I don't put them higher. So that's my top 5. So in order, that was in 5th place, Chelsea, 4th, Liverpool, 3rd, Arsenal, 2nd, Man United, top, Man City. Buck.
Okay, so I've gone for a slightly different order. In 5th place, I went for Wolves.
4th?
4th place, Man United. 3rd, Chelsea.
Yep, just seeing where you put in Arsenal, 1 or 2.
2nd place, Liverpool.
You put Arsenal to win the league.
Arsenal champions, well.
Oh, I love that.
City champions.
Hey?
Oh, the closet.
City champions.
Alex, want to ask him?
I mean, is he talking about the reserve Premier League here?
No, so I'm with you on Liverpool. I do think there's going to be a bit of a drop off. I think it's extremely difficult psychologically to maintain your first title win, and they haven't had a massive change of the squad. The caveat that I put to that is if they do sign, as is rumoured, Thiago Alcantara out of
Hang on. Who's Thiago? I've never heard of him
Thiago.
before.
Sounds like Carl Cole trying to say hypocritical.
Is this a brand new player? Is it? Who's he play for?
If they get him from Bayern Munich.
Oh, Thiago. Oh, right.
I was going to ask him to say it again.
Sorry, it's your Northantonian accent. You just can't understand me. If they get him, that's a game changer for me. At that point, I think Liverpool go on to win the title again. But at the minute, I think City will win it. Liverpool will finish second because I don't think there's enough freshness and drive to keep the same jokes, storylines, and everything else in the squad again and get another result the way they do. They will win something, but I don't think it'll be the league. Chelsea have still got issues at the back. I think Ben Chilwell has been a massive, massive signing for them.
Massive.
But another centre-half to come in, and they need to fix the goalkeeping situation. But if they fix that, I think they'll be there or thereabouts. And Wolves, for me, is the outsider coming into the 5th place thing. I'm looking at purely going, Wolves are a really good team. They play very good football, and we know they were there or thereabouts for the vast majority of that campaign, only narrowly pipped to a European spot. Spurs have got European football. Arsenal got European football. Both of those teams are playing in the Europa League, and we both know that the flights, the times of the games, playing FC Nobody over in Uzbekistan wipes it out of those squads. Wolves haven't got that distraction anymore, and that's an advantage to them.
This is true, but I mean, you say Spurs have got European football. Don't they have to go through the qualifiers first? I know you're probably playing like Tesco's from
FC Nobody from
FC Plovdiv are a big club. And you shouldn't take them for granted, all right? So, yeah, you might not make it through that
at some stage. Is that what you're trying to tell me? So they must be a big club.
Definitely not. I've never actually heard of them until right now. Oh dear. So your top 5 are
Wolves at 5th.
Yeah.
Man United 4th.
Yeah.
Chelsea 3rd. Liverpool 2nd place. Man City get 1st.
So you got Man City again as champions. Right then, Alex, 5-1.
Cool. Right. So I'll do the same as you guys. I'll go with 5-1 and then sort of give my reasons for those. So 5 for me. I'll go on same with Gav. I went Chelsea for me finishing 5th. 4th, I've gone with Arsenal.
Yeah.
3rd, I've gone with Man United.
Yeah.
2nd, Man City, and then top, I went with Liverpool. Now, the reason I went that order, I know Liverpool, we've mentioned it, we've already mentioned it, they haven't strengthened, currently, as we speak right now, they haven't really made any strengthening, although they did sign that Greek left back from Olympiacos, Tsimikas, who looked very promising when Arsenal played him, and when he played against Wolves in the Europa League, he looked like one of Olympiacos' best players, and he's young. It's obviously it's back up to Robertson. And is he going to be able to push him and challenge him? I mean, you've got to think Minamino. He's had half a season now. Is he going to be, going to find his feet under in Premier League football? I mean, they've lost Dejan Lovren, and obviously Lallana went out on a free. He joined Brighton, so the squad could do with a bit of a freshen up. And as Bucky says, if Thiago does come in, that would certainly give them a big freshen up. They've also been heavily linked with Ismail Assar, which would be a great option to come off the bench for either Mane or Salah, rather than having to play Divock Origi outside. So I still think Liverpool are the best team in the country, and they will still probably end up winning the league. I agree, though, that it certainly won't be anywhere close to being the 25-odd points, whatever it was last season. No. That they won it by. So I still think they'll win the league. City, again, their major issues, I don't really think that they've addressed, even though they signed Nathan Ake, was defence. And I still think midfield, that they get overrun. I mean, Fernandinho is what, 30, well, I say 30, he's 35 36. Going on 76, isn't he? Something like that. And Rodri kind of struggled to adapt to the Premier League. Now, can he make that jump, that leap in the second year? Because they really did look like they got overrun them, especially when you look at the way that they played Lyon in the Champions League. Lyon were able to look like they could go through Man City at will, even though they didn't have much of the ball. They looked like they could score quite comfortably, and you've got to think that there's quite a few good teams in the Premier League who could do the same to City. And to back onto Bucky's point, they lost another leader, even though I wasn't a big fan of him. He still counts as leader, and David Silva, he's left the club, and that's another leader in the locker room who players could play for. People who saw the all or nothing that City did a few years ago know how much of a high regard he was thought of in that City locker room. So certainly they've lost another leader there that they haven't really replaced. I know they've got that Ferran Torres who's young. He's Spanish. He played for the Spanish national team in the most recent international
play on both flanks as well. Good player.
He certainly can do. And obviously, how are they going to recover from the whole Messi situation as well? So I don't know if City have got quite enough to go back and win the title from last season. United, I think they'll make the most improvement in terms of closing the gap to the top two, especially with a good signing like Van der Beek at the good price that they got him as well. £35 million adds to their midfield depth, and you don't have, if you have a suffer an injury to Fernandes or Pogba, you don't then have to go to Lingard or Pereira, any player like that, So certainly there, but their transfer window is going to be based on whether they can get well, they're certainly being linked with a lot of wingers. This is the wing. They don't need a
winger. They don't need a winger. They literally, Man United turn up front three: Greenwood, Martial, Rashford. And if they turn around and go get Sancho, then that's brilliant, isn't it? So
I'm not sure. Still, Greenwood's amazing. Don't get me wrong. All three of those are amazing, but they can't be depended on to play 60 games a season. So they are looking at obviously getting an extra body in there, because obviously I know United fans aren't still sold on Daniel James. Is he of the required quality? But these are the players that they've been linked with in the transfer window for a winger position. They've been linked with Dembele, David Brooks, and obviously Jadon Sancho. They've also been linked with Upamecano, which if they could get him, that would be a great addition, and that could certainly put him up the top there for United. But I think they'll finish comfortably third. Now, personally, I think those top three will be a little bit clear of the next two in the rest of the league.
There you go. Ed said that I should be banned after saying that Liverpool come fourth, and then he also said forgot Daniel James existed. Well, I didn't. I put Daniel James in my worst 11 of the year as well, and then my missus is watching the show as well. She's her order is Man City top, Liverpool second, Man United third, Wolves in fourth, and Arsenal fifth. And I can see the Wolves thing, because they haven't got any distractions. They've got 38 games to play and 3, maybe 4 cup games all season. But that's our top five. Do you agree or disagree with our top fives? You can put it on all of our social media. Feel free to @Top Football on all social media. And as we said at the beginning of the show, if you can have a look at the screen right now, there it is. youtube.com/C/Top Football, and ensure that you download Soccer Manager on the 14th of September 2021, and it's available on the App Store and Google Play Store. Did you know that if you put Two Up Top into Google, our name comes up first? Oh, thank you and goodbye.